Hello, I'm Harold, and I destroy reloading components. You're right, guys. Being in the circle and admitting it is the first step to quitting. Oh, you're probably wondering what I'm doing. Well, it's real simple. I'm going through my 30-06 brass. You say, preacher, is that the brass you reloaded last week and they're shooting that you shot this week? No. It's pouring down rain. It's been raining all week. I think we've had like 6 inches of rain this week, and they're calling for 3 more. So what am I doing? I'm getting into my new brass, my new 30-06 brass. Why am I getting into my new 30-06 brass? Because stupid me ruined all the other 30-06 brass I had. Tell me if there's, I don't know if the lighting's good. Here, I'll just do it like this. Can you tell any difference in the coloration of these two pieces of brass? Yeah, obviously. This one's brand new, unfired. This one's once fired. But it was clean because I put it in my wet tumbler and tumbled it with some Dawn and Lemmy Shine, and it came out just as shiny as new. And I thought, boy, I'm ready to put me together some test loads. So I began getting my 30 caliber bullets together and getting everything set up. And I'm fixing to get, I'm serious about loading. And I stuck these just like this on a piece of parchment on this old cookie sheet and stuck them in the oven at 200 degrees for like 15 minutes. And the timer went off. I went in there 200 degrees and they were dry, and I moved them around and I picked them up, and one of them had some water in it because I didn't shake out the first handful I put out. So I thought, well, I'm just going to stick them back in here and they'll dry out. So I stuck them back in there and forgot about them. I came back here and started working on 243 brass because I wasn't going to load that until later in the week anyways. I forgot about them. The next day, my boy goes in there and pulls him out a frozen pizza out of the oven, a little personal pizza. Sets the oven on 450 and takes off. Comes back and it's like, opens the oven up with his pizza. Hey, who left their ammo in the oven? I'm like, oh no. Well, I did a little research. At 480 degrees, you change the structure of brass, supposedly. Some of these pieces of brass, they appear to be heat treated. They kind of have a blue color to it. When you're preheating your oven, it's heating up above, in some areas, is hotter than the overall temperature because it's trying to hurry and get you to 450. And it's pretty clear that some of this brass got over 450 degrees. And I know I don't look like much, but I do want to save the face I have, so I'm not going to chance it. And so I traded for some new Winchester brass, and so therefore I'm going to use up the old new Winchester brass that I had over here. But that brings up a good point. In the last 2 weeks, I have screwed up some components. I was just watching a couple months ago, I think it was Loads of Bacon did a video where he was going through 9mm range brass, and this is 9mm range brass sent to me by Country Boy Prepper. And I went through it, and as I went through the brass, I ran across this brass that had 9mm Luger, and I think it's called Max Tech, M-A-X-T-E-C-K, Max Tech. And when you look, and I don't know how well it'll show up, see that little ledge inside that brass? I saw his video where he found some of this. And when I was going through all this 9mm range brass, I said, I got to look for that because I don't know where the brass came from. Country Boy Prepper sent it to me. And so, anyways, as I was going through, I discovered this one. And I'm like, that's the same brand that that Loads of Bacon was talking about. So I put it way over here. Huh, I caught you, found you. Well, one of them didn't catch my eye, and it got primed, and it got flared and powdered, and then when I went to seat the bullet down, that's as far as the bullet would go. And so, and there's no way that that's within the maximum overall length of 9mm. So anyways, I suppose I could shake out my 4.3 grains of powder and my gently press out my primer, but more than likely I'll just put it up here for a memento. Another stupid thing I did when I was putting together this 243 brass, this was range brass given to me by a guy at church. Bradley had picked up 243 range brass, and he didn't have a 243, so I went through all of that brass, was sizing and depriming and sorting it. And as I was sorting it, before I began to ever deprime it, I pulled out 6.5 Creedmoor, which look very similar to 243. They're just a little shorter, as you can see. Now what you'll notice about this one piece of 6.5 Creedmoor that escaped my inspection is that I ran it up and deprimed and sized it. And if you notice, it went from 6.5mm to 6mm. I'll show it to you. I hope you can see that. Yeah. Anyways, more stupid stuff I've done this week. So, there you have it. I have been trying to do some reloading. I did have kind of a collection of slip-ups. Luckily, none of them cost me my good looks. But it just goes to show you, when you're dealing with range brass, you've got to be careful because you never know what's in there. And even though I found 6 of those, one of them escaped it. Now, this is nothing dangerous, but I don't know as though I would use that brass anymore. And the same with this. You know, this is not going to blow your face off, but you did stick a bullet and a primer and a little powder in it when you could have caught it like you did the other brass. I loaded 200 of these, and I have 199 because I overlooked this one. Same way with the brass. If I had been paying attention, I wouldn't have forgot and ruined 20 or 30 pieces of once fired 30-06 brass. But hey, that's just part of it. Sooner or later, you're going to forget something, overlook something, ruin something. Luckily, none of it, all of it was caught before it ever ended up somewhere where it could actually hurt you. I know I shouldn't have to sit here and smash the necks on this ruined 30-06 brass, but there's some idiots in our area, and they go down to the metal recycling plant or place, and they look around for brass to reload. And I know that some of them would see this 30-06 brass and be like, oh, we ought to take that home and shoot it. And so I'm doing this as a good deed to keep idiots alive for another day on the earth. Thanks for watching.